Hey everybody, at BV Matson here. I'm loving the 2023 Scram 411, all but one thing, one major omission. Look, we got ourselves a fancy little side stand, but the bike doesn't come with a center stand. We're going to fix that in today's video. We are going to install a center stand on a Himalayan Scram 411. Luckily, the kit is easy to find. Head on over to eBay, and you're going to see a wide range of prices, anywhere from like $80 up to $120. I actually got this thing pretty quick. It comes with everything you're going to need to complete the install, except one thing. You're going to need a short little 12mm bolt, and I'll show you why in a little bit. All right, let's take a look at the parts that come in the kit. You get your washers, your pins, your mounting plate for your cushion, and then also two springs. It's got a two-spring setup that's a little different. You'll also get your two springs. So the cool thing about the 411 is that it is the exact same frame as the Himalayan. So the mounting points for the center stand are all there. No drilling required at all. Simply just bolts right on. It's pretty straightforward. Before we get started, we are going to want to lube up those pins just a little bit. It is a point of movement, so I always like to coat those pins in just a little bit of grease. You're going to line up that center stand and insert your pins one side at a time. This was really no problem at all. They slid right in as long as you're level, and it was no problem getting those pins in. Tap, tap, there you go. You can see the pin is in. And just like that, we can move over to the other side. And you might have noticed a little notch cut out in those pins. Well, it's because that notch makes it possible for you to slide those pins in without removing the exhaust. God bless engineers. A quick tap in with a punch, and that other pin on the exhaust side, the right side, goes right in. And there you go. Our second pin is in place. Now, next step, make sure that you install the washer on the inside. That's going to be where your pin goes. Don't forget that. And then we're going to take our little pin and we are going to slide those into position. Those are what basically hold that center stand in place. All right, the next order of business is installing that plate. It basically holds the cushion, so when the stand is up, it hits a cushion. The kit didn't come with a 12mm bolt, so you're going to have to procure one of those. Here's the orientation of it. It bumps outward. You could flip it and have it going inward, and it's not going to make contact. So just make sure that it's oriented the way you see in the video. Go ahead and grab some Loctite, coat up that bolt, and then go ahead and install. You're going to hold the plate underneath the bracket, and then the bolt goes down on top and through the threaded piece on that bracket. That bracket is threaded. Grab yourself a 12mm ratchet and send that thing home. All right, your next order of business is to install the cushion. Pretty straightforward. There's a little lip on one end, and that goes towards the back. You might need to lubricate that nipple up just a little bit so you can pop that on. But once it's on, stays nice and secure, and that ain't going anywhere, as they say. So, on to the next step. All right, time to install the springs, and both springs mount on the same point on the front. And then on the kickstand itself, there's actually two mounting points, one up top and one down low. So obviously you've got a shorter spring and a longer spring. Pretty obvious. You're going to line those up. It all fits together pretty nicely. I did notice that through some of the research I did is that the hook on the stand should actually go down. Another good tip that I've picked up over the years is that when you're installing springs, make sure to use like a zip tie to hold that thing down, because if it were to slip off, it is a pretty violent projectile going through. So you're just going to use a screwdriver, teeter that screwdriver just on the edge of where you want it to go, and pull that thing into position. Once you get to that point, you're just going to slowly remove that screwdriver, and hopefully it's going to pop right into position, and it's going to be good to go. The one thing, just make sure that hook is going down. On the second one, you're going to do the same thing. It's just a little bit longer stretch, and as you get into this, you're going to notice that that longer edge makes those two kind of springs work together. So again, I found it helpful to go above the other spring on the front mount, and then again, just use the zip ties, hold those in place. It's a good safety, man. I shot one of those springs across the room one time. I'm lucky I didn't break a window or something. But same process. Go ahead, grab a Phillips. Phillips seems to work the best for me. Slide that into position. Get that thing to hook, and then just slowly, slowly, slowly pull that thing out. And there you go. Here is the first try of that center stand. Ooh, get into it. There you go. It pops right up into place. It works great. All right. So you probably noticed I missed one step. And the one thing I learned is that you need to get it up on the center stand, or at least it's going to help make the job of bending over those pins a heck of a lot easier. So with that said, we're going to go back underneath with our needle nose or a punch or a hammer, however you want to do it. But these are in a really tight spot. These are actually the hardest thing to install. Another tip I'd give you is that just attack both of them from the left side, reach through. With the exhaust on the right, it makes it almost impossible. So there you go. Once you bend over those pins, your center stand isn't going anywhere, and you're all set. It's going to make maintenance. It's going to just make storage. It just makes sense, man. It was really the only downside that I saw with the Scram 411 is that it didn't have a center stand. Why? I have no idea. But now my Scram has a center stand, and I'm a happy camper. It's a great bike. Hope this video was helpful. I hope that you subscribe to the channel for sure. And if you want a free sticker, head on over to keeponwrenching.com.